Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with an unboxing another offline gaming experience. This is Biohazard Chronicles HD Selection for the PlayStation 3. Now this is a Japan import physical copy. Now Biohazard is also known as Resident Evil. Now this collection comes with Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles as well as Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles all on one disc. Now each game has to be installed onto your PS3. Now you can pick and choose which one to install, but they must be installed individually onto the PS3. Now, as I said, this is a Japan import, but the entire game can be fully experienced and played with English menus and so forth. Now there is certain tidbits here and there that's Japan only, but all voice audio and menu navigations are in English. And only English. Now there is Japanese subtitles and so forth, but voice acting and so forth is English. There are little bits of Japanese around where like reading documents or upgrading weaponry and so forth are in Japanese. Luckily there is some places, sites and so forth that provides imagery or documentary that lets you know what the dialogue is saying in the documents or upgrading. So look that up if you play it. But for the most part, the entire game can be played without needing to worry about Japanese. Now, also, this game functions with the Move controllers that the PS3 has, but though if you may not have that, you still can play one and the other one, both Chronicle games, with the PS3 controller, as well as 2 players. So, in the end, it's a great collection to get if you're a Resident Evil fan, if you're a fan of on-rail shooters, and it's a Japan import, sadly, only with fully English navigation and be able to complete the entire game. So, yes, well worth it for that. There are, like I said, little hiccups, like I said, menus and so forth, and documents and so forth in Japanese, as well as working with the controller can be a little cumbersome because the game is built around using the Move controller. The biggest problem is that there was no way to adjust the sensitivity of the crosshairs for both games. So this can be cumbersome. Make sure that I recommend putting on easy and have auto aim on. It will make the game a little bit more bearable as well as you try to get a hang of the controls of the game. Now, both games pretty much function the same way. You have navigation of the gun, you hit square to reload, you have different weaponries you can find, the camera's on rails, so you have to make sure you look around and pick up items and so forth. Both of them have kind of like a pick your direction sometimes in the game, as well as Darkside Chronicles allows you to play both the original games, like Resident Evil 2 and so forth, where you can play Umbrella Chronicles that allow you to play Resident Evil 1, 0, and so forth. So it's a nice little combination of mini games, as well as what I like about the Darkside Chronicles, it introduces Leon and Krauser and gives you a little bit more backstory between those characters that you don't really get from Resident Evil 4. As I said, it's a great collection, and it's very disappointing that this is the only way to get an HD collection of these 2 games, and we never got this released in the US or European. So, like I said, it's well worth the time if you're a Resident Evil fan and so forth, but some might be thrown away with the Japanese, but I still highly recommend it. If you're a Resident Evil fan, it's well worth your time. It's fun to go back into it, and go into the environments of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and Resident Evil 2, and Darkside Chronicles, as well as adding a new extra story into it. It's all very well done and very fun to play, especially if you can get a second person to play with you. And I do have to admit, Resident Evil 2 on the Darkside Chronicles is a pretty good recreation of Resident Evil 2 in terms of Leon and Claire. I thought their dialogue exchange between each other was very well done and very endearing between those characters. I thought they even did a little bit better job than the remake in terms of character interaction. Now, granted, the game is built around being teamwork, while the remake and so forth was meant to be an isolation and scary game, which this game is not going to be scary in any slightest. Remember, it's a action-packed, on-rail shooter, but it is quite challenging at certain moments, and it's like I said, it's got some good segments into the game. Just takes a little time to get hang of the controls and be able to navigate with it and the menu system and so forth. I do like how the Darkside Chronicles allows you to upgrade your weaponry and so forth in terms of using in-game currency and all that stuff. Really fun to try to unlock and upgrade all the weaponries. It's one of my most favorite game mechanics in games is upgrading weaponry and equipment and so forth. I really miss that. We kind of got that in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5, and now we haven't gotten it back. I kind of miss it. But like I said, it disappoints me that for whatever reason we never got this outside of Japan, and it's still worth the time to import it. And hopefully we might get another re-release or remastered for PS4 or PS5, whichever. As it's, like I said, it's actually still a decently good game. Just give it VR support if you want to. Allow me people to adjust the sensitivity of the crosshairs, and I think the game would be still decently to play now. Graphically, it's still good. The voice acting is still pretty good. The environments and so forth are well represented. It's definitely a good little collection to get, and especially since it's only available in Japanese or Japan import, might be a little hard to get, might be a little bit more expensive to import and so forth, but still worth the time. Even just if you're not a fan of Resident Evil, you don't have to worry about things being super scary or anything like that. Or if you're just a fan, you just want to get it in your collection just because it's Resident Evil. So, in my personal opinion, I say highly recommend to it. I am sorry though, this video seems to be a bit odd, where you notice that I'm starting a new save and so forth. I actually played this a long time ago, and I was going to make an unboxing video a long time ago, but my PS3 broke down with its HDMI, and I finally got a new replacement for it. I'm still trying to see if I can fix that PS3. I'm still working on it, but I got a new one about now I can start recovering PS3 games, and I wanted to cover this game a little while, quite some time ago, but I had to start a new console save and so forth and start all over again. But coming back to it, still had a blast, still had a good time. It's still worth your time, and I'd still highly recommend if you can get a second person to join you, you have a blast playing it with 2 players. So, in my recommendation, pick it up. So, I'll always try to leave links down in the description if you're instant copy, and I'll see you guys in my next unboxing video. Bye-bye!
Alright, let me go back to the beginning. My fight against bio-warfare all started in a zombie-infested ghost town. It was September 1998, my first and only day as a police officer.
Get down!
Move!
Not bad.
I never thought any of this stuff my brother taught me would work.
Stars? A special force issue, huh?
It's my brother's. That's why I'm here, to find him. I'm Claire Redfield.
Hey, Leon Kennedy.